like, share, subscribe to the channel at TaeLucianoMEDIA. That's TaeLucianoMEDIA. I just made a video, talking about Adam22, no jumper, really, and just how he treats his employees, mainly, the people he has employed, and really more so to, due to the fact Bricc baby is going through what he's going through, being in the feds and incarcerated, trying to get out. You know what I mean? And Bricc was saying, and this basically goes, implying to my last video that I posted on YouTube. And, Bricc was saying that Adam22 owe him some money. And, you know what I mean? And it's just crazy because it's like, okay, Adam was saying, yo, I gave you 5,000, when you got locked up in Vegas and all this and that. Okay, I understand that. But for one, that was a whole different situation. And then he was saying, oh, I don't really know if I was hearing word on the street that, he pocketed some of the money. And it's like, dude, at this point, none of that even mattered, because it's like, this dude has been pretty much, for what I've seen, a loyal soldier for you. You know what I mean? I'm quite sure at a point in time, he was willing to risk it all and put it on the line for you. Especially if something was serious to happen up there and at that time or whenever. But they kind of like leave it. It's almost kind of like you leaving them for dead. You know what I'm saying? It's almost kind of like he was leaving Bricc for dead. And it's just like, how are you going to, how are you going to do all of that? Not do all of that, but how are you going to say that, when this person has held you down? This person has, been with you through pretty much thick and thin, because you got to look at the fact that Bricc baby, right, came in when everybody else was dismantled, when everybody else got the hell on, and he booted everybody else. Bricc came right in and kind of saved the day, almost kind of how it was when AD. And shout out to AD, shout out to Community. I love Community, love what they do. Shout out to Back on Fig. I think all that shit together is dope. But, anyways, kind of like he's pretty much doing Bricc almost the same way he did House Phone and AD. I feel like, he brought him a nice amount of ratings, views, and stuff like that. Maybe not as much, say, as a person like Sharp did when he was on the platform, or say like a AD and Terrell, because they was really, and still is, heavy in the music scene and knew a lot of people, and really being from being from where they from. You know what I mean? And once again, shout out to them. But he's nobody's friend. You know what I'm saying? He's nobody's friend. He means nobody good. He really make the culture look bad. You know what I mean? Especially from a LA standpoint. But that's why a lot of, as time went on, a lot of people stopped trying to get to No Jumper, because No Jumper at the point in time was the platform to be on. It was just like being on, getting on. No Jumper was like, at a point in time, how artists back then used to want to get on 106 and Park. And anybody that's from that era know what I'm talking about. Like, No Jumper at a point in time was like how everybody wants to get on there. You know what I mean? And be a part of the whole, just be a part of the whole thing, right? But, when you're not a good person and you doing people dirty and you doing people bold and your attention's not good, then this is what you get. And there's no telling how much he told the feds it's no telling what he told the feds, when they came to his house. There's no telling what he told them. There's no telling what piece of evidence he, gave up. It could have been a goddamn shirt a nigga had on and took it off and left it at his crib or something, anything. And like, yo, I just got into a squabble, a little, little fist fight or whatever. And let me change, anything, like, because he's just Adam22 is, what he is? Adam22 is a disease in the culture. I feel that way. And by podcasting and streaming and stuff like that being so huge in the culture, he's really like a cancer in the culture, because I know for a fact his intentions is not good. I know for a fact he doesn't mean well. I know for a fact, he's a piece of shit, honestly, because, and I'm just one of them people, and I'm not saying I'm Jesus and nothing like that, but when I have a huge hunch or a huge feeling about somebody or something, I'm 9 times out of 10 right. And I'm not saying I'm right about everything, but, I feel like he don't even possibly even listen to hip hop, bro. I don't even think he really even listen to hip hop. I think he just see what he see, and by him being around certain people, certain individuals, and I think they just put him on game of what to talk about. Because it seemed like he's really not informed. He's not. He's a piece of shit. Straight the fuck up. You feel me? Because I could see how when AD and Terrell and them was working up there, and when they was, working at No Jumper, Terrell is very connected, AD is very connected, right? Music scene and everything, from street politics, all that, right? But really on the music. And when they probably would bring up certain individuals, I think he was so intrigued with that where he just ran with that. He just took off with that. And he don't mean nobody good, because only thing he stick to is the gang politics, the street politics, when it should be about music. And that's why, as far as on the West Coast podcasting standpoint, or whatever you want to call it, I would choose, if I had to choose between, say, Vlad, No Jumper, you know what I'm saying, Adam22, and somebody like Bootleg Kev. And I'm only saying those three because these is some of the individuals that's been podcasting and streaming for years, many, many years now. I would have to pick Bootleg Kev. I love what Bootleg Kev does. Hell, I wish I could interview him, honestly. I think he's, dope. I definitely like the question he asks artists. He you know what I'm saying? He keep it all the way music, hip hop. The last couple of recent interviews I really thoroughly all the way checked out, and I done checked out plenty of Bootleg Kev interviews. I really admire his interviewing. I really admire his journalism. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the last 2 interviews I seen from him was just recently. He just interviewed Too Short and Snoop. Now, of course, these is 2 artists that's been in the game for years, legends. They so far from what they used to be, so far from the bull and getting into things. But when you done did something, you done did something. So meaning it don't matter if a person did something 5 years ago, 3 years, 2 years ago. He could easily bring up, oh yeah, hey, yeah, remember the time, and you got into the fight, and it could be something that was old, but maybe still kind of in the air. I never seen this dude bring up no criminal activity, no fights, no nothing, anything. I never seen him do any of that. And I have watched him for years. I done watched plenty of his interviews. It's always hip hop based. It's always uplifting. It's always real conversation. It's always just music based, groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I fuck with Bootleg Kev. I really do. I really admire his journalism, like I do. And this ain't no. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta put that out there because niggas like to, you know what I'm saying, throw weird shit up. But I really admire him because, and the reason why I'm saying that because, and why I admire him so much is because it's not really too many platforms that's really just super in the forefront that's like that. I think, you know, Big Facts is, then we got, you know, Drink Champs, but you know, a lot of those platforms kind of cater to the older crowd, meaning the older rappers, the older generation, because their interviews say somebody like Too Short, you know, and me just, you know, me just saying Too Short just had an interview with Bootleg Kev not too long ago. The younger generation, you know, wouldn't really tap into an interview like that. But when you and the thing with Bootleg Kev, I don't watch him interview upcoming artists, artists that's already established, artists that's been in the game for many years, veterans, you know what I mean? So, and it's all the same. It's all hip hop based. It's all hip hop driven. You know what I'm saying? Unlike you got a platform like, say, No Jumper, you know, you willing to hear so many street stories, so many you're going to hear a lot about the streets, a lot about gangs. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. But the thing is that these dudes don't have to get on. It's almost like they getting on the stand and testifying. Because that's where I look at it. Because the questions he asks is almost like police shit. I'm sorry. It's like police shit. It's like police work because the stuff he asks, only police people ask that type of stuff. A lot of the questions Adam has asked people, only detectives ask those type of questions, honestly. Or people that's informants. Now, I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he, you know what I'm saying? But it's just very funny that these questions that he asks different artists or several artists has all been police driven. It all has been police type of questions that he has asked artists. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of these artists got to be smart enough to know, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these artists got to be smart enough to know what to ask. I mean, what to answer and what not to answer. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like Adam definitely don't need to be in the culture. He's definitely a disease in the culture. He's definitely somebody and that's why I'm going to title this video, Adam22, Disease of the Hip Hop Culture, because for him being as big as he is on the West and the people he has interviewed, I think he could do better than what he has done. But maybe he can't because when your intentions is not good, it doesn't matter anyway, right? So it really don't matter too much. But it's just sickening, you know, to see that this guy that say he rock with black people and he this and that and that and this. If you really rock with black people, if you was really down for black people, and not even for black people, but for the people you have in that has worked at your establishment, you wouldn't treated them like that. You wouldn't treated them so poorly. You wouldn't kick them to the curb like that. You wouldn't put you wouldn't slander people's name. You wouldn't put certain business out there. You wouldn't put none of that stuff we would even know about if you really rock with the people that has worked for you. You know what I mean? And that all sums it up right there. So if you really rock with, if you had really rocked with the ADs and the Terrells and the House Phones and the Sharps, and a few far in between. There's a few more other dudes up in there too, though, that I can't even think the name of. But if you had really, the Bricc babies, if you really rock with these people, or if you once upon a time, you wouldn't treated them, he wouldn't have treated them the way he has treated them. But partially, I have to blame them as well. Definitely Sharp and Bricc baby. I have to really blame them because, before it was them, it was AD and Terrell. So all they had to do was just take a seat back and really look at the whole thing, the whole landscape of it. Like, damn, this could be us next. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't exempt. He could tell us anything right now. When the getting is good and the numbers and the money is flowing and everything, of course we're friends. But and another thing, how I know he don't really rock with black people is because in the video that he got at Bricc, was saying, oh, we were something like friends. How we are something like friends. But just months ago, 2-3 months ago, months and months ago, you was calling this man your friend. We're hanging out here, we're doing this, we're doing that. You was calling him your friend. Now we're something like friends. It's either we is or we ain't, dog. And that's how you know Adam is just full of shit, and he doesn't mean nobody good, and he just doesn't. And I think he's just a manipulator and a user, and I think he's partially racist, bro. And a lot of people gonna say, oh, how you gonna say that? Well, didn't slave owners have black slaves working for them? They didn't like the black people that was working for them. They was working for them because we're gonna work these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't mean they was rocking with them. So I think Adam is the same way. I think he's just low down and dirty, man. He don't do nobody right. He doesn't pay anybody right. It's probably so many multiple people that he still owes to this day. You know what I'm saying? So many allegations on his name. And whatever happened to the one girl that was a legend that he basically, with her when she was, what happened to all of that? Like, how did that just get swept under the rug? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with that? What happened to all, you know what I mean? Like, he just, and then his family tree is so horrible. It will only, you have no choice but to be horrible your damn self. It's just like if you come from a line of rats and get everybody done told in your damn family, you probably be the next one that's gonna tell. You know what I'm saying? So with Adam, like I said, he's a disease in the culture. He's a disease to the black culture, bottom line. But make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel at TaeLucianoMEDIA. And please let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. Because it's not going to be the last he gets a black person and play around with him. It's not going to be the last time. We're going to see more of it. But let me know what y'all think about it. Peace.